You learn from your caregiver. So that's vitally important.
And so that old saying, like some falsehood we've been taught, like don't do as I do, do as I say. Really, that model won't work.
Well, it's a reality. It's a reality because we aren't perfect people. We make mistakes. But that even suggests that you're doing something that is contrary to growth and development.
Right.
I may be doing it, but I'm an adult. You're a child. You can't do it.
And most children don't really adhere to that concept.
Yeah, and what happens generally is as soon as they even the child's response is, I can't wait till I'm big enough to do what I want to do. Like smoking cigarettes. I can remember my parents smoking cigarette, my father, wondering what it would be like. As it turns out, I didn't become a cigarette smoker, but I remember the response and, kind of coming in after they had their little parties and stuff, man. Want to do grown folk stuff.
Let me ask you this, Thomas. As far as people getting married, right?
Yes.
Their backgrounds play a role in marriages too, right?
Absolutely.
Because you had this thing of opposites attract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do they work that out? Because eventually, in some marriages, well, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna do what I do, and then it may fail.
And see,
because of the backgrounds.
Okay, and that's where education and tolerance come in. You always have to pursue balance. It doesn't have to be 50-50. It can be 60-40. It can be 30-70. It's what you're able to compromise and feel comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And like me and my wife, I'm terrible with money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an impulsive spender. I always have a problem. Say I'll talk about getting it later. I'll save it later. But she is just the opposite. She wants to save. She wants to be accountable for money. So I've learned through her to allow her to go ahead and manage the money. Now, the whole thing you hear guys talk about, I'm not gonna let nobody manage my money. My money is my money. But the reality is, if you're in a partnership with someone that you trust and love, then you assign the things that they're good at. You let them do that part in the household, and you do yours. I'm not just talking about cooking and cleaning, because I do my own share of cleaning. I do my own part of cleaning, and I don't like to cook. I can cook, and there's sometimes when she wants me to cook because she likes certain things that I fix. Well, I'll go ahead and do it, not so much because I want to, but because it's a partnership. I have to compromise.
Advice on taking that step. Being focused. We talked about fears, and a lot of us want to do it, but I think we're just afraid because we're afraid to let go. At least in my case, or changing certain things about me.
Familiarity breeds comfort. Mm-hmm. We're comfortable in things that we're familiar with, even if it's not working to our most advantage. I advocate all the time in groups. We need to first identify our fears, and then be able to start confronting them. See where it's based. Because if you have fear-based thinking, you're always on this reactionary mode. You're avoiding this, avoiding that, and agitation brings about growth. Anything that aggravates you, it doesn't really kill you. It makes you stronger.
Say that again, because that's important. See, that's very important for the listeners to hear. Remember because a lot of times especially in this society we're in right now, it's a void. It's a void. I don't want no. I want good vibes and all that stuff and all that. And I don't want to talk our text. I don't want no kind of aggravation like what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that we're in the society now. We want quick and immediate responses to everything. There's some benefit in being able to establish some patience. But I was saying that agitation, even though it may be difficult, it makes us stronger in some areas. Any metal or diamonds, they go through an agitation period. Coal starts out not as a diamond, it's coal, and it's the pressure and the heat that makes it a diamond. Gold, you have to smelt it. You know, if you are, and I'm looking at you, you look like you work out. You tear down the muscle. You have to tear down the muscle.
I do a little something. I do a little something.
I'll throw that out there. Yeah.
Don't give him too much water.
I told you I'm trying to speak some truth here. The brother built. So what we have to do is we tear down the muscle, but it regenerates and it makes it stronger. If we learn to do that with other things, you know, patience is a big one. Right?
Because he got to keep working out. He can't just work out one day.
You can't stop, right?
Yeah.
You can't stop. You know, you're sitting processes in motion, and you have to continue on in order to continue reaping the benefits. So again, back to the marriages. There are days when my significant other, my wife, can make me angrier than anybody else, and she don't even have to say a whole lot. There's a look that she can give me that I just, you know, nobody else can give it to me like she give it to me, and I'm mad. I had to learn, you know, what that's about, and I realized that it's because she knows me like nobody else knows me.
Even you.
She knows me better than and she does. She's a great observer. I think, in general, women are very, very observant, more observant than men.
Absolutely.
And they pay attention. So we had to give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give them their credit.
Absolutely.
And I found that rather than fighting, kind of acquiescing and listening, and even trying it sometimes. You know, I had to force myself out because I'm comfortable in being the way I am too. You know, it's not about comfort though.
Look, can I get a comment in?
Sure.
So, as we reference marriage, and specifically marriage in the Black community, there's definitely a significant decline. Not even the divorce factor, but the fact that we're just not even getting married. Period. I think that's a catastrophic situation that we really need to focus on. The big part of that is that we wait till we become adults and try to get married. But the truth is, we're not raising our children to get married. We leave it up to happenstance. You know what I'm saying? So we dropped the ball on keeping that institution. And then when they grow up, oh, he got married, or they got they were lucky, but we're no longer implementing marriage as a significance in our culture, in our community, and then in the end we look for it. So we play a big role in why your daughter ain't married, why she can't find a husband. That's because you didn't raise a husband. You didn't raise a wife. You raised a corporate America sister, and you raised a player hustler son.
No. I'm gonna take that
heavy metal.
Take that point and raise you some in our in our schools. You would think there's as controlling as emotions are, you would think that more time would be spent in teaching kids how to manage emotions, how to interact properly, as opposed to history, geography, mathematics.
Right, that's right.
We as a people, and I'm not talking about just people of color, I'm talking about the school system, period. We need to learn, you know, emotional language. There's a book called 5 Languages of Love. 5 Love Languages. Read it. You know, check it out. And there's something in it. There's something in it.
Yes,
because even nonverbal communications tell you a whole lot about a person. We believe what we see as opposed to what a person is saying.
Man, I as always, I've been enlightened by talking to Mr. Moore. I'm sure everybody, the viewers and ourselves, has gathered some wealth of information. Relationships with our people is always going to be a very complicated thing because it's not collective. But I find, just my opinion, like Mr. Moore said, if I just do my part on building healthy relationships with everybody I encounter, it's not going to be that way all the time. But I need to make an effort, and just knowing that that I practice this, I lower my expectations and raise my acceptance on it. Then I won't come away disgruntled.
Well, you can't have a return if you didn't make an investment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to put something in.
You gotta put something in.
Yeah.
Can people go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and this has been in my head for a minute, just thinking about marriage and relationships. And I read once and they said that our longest journey in life is about 18 inches. It starts at our head and ends at our heart. We have to find the person of our heart. We don't even know what to look for a lot of times in a mate. Is it just the physical features? Is it their financial standings? What do you really need in a person to complement you?
That's deep.
Well, I want to respond to that, if I can. When you're looking for a mate, see, you're looking for a person to complement you in what regard? Because in the social grooming that we have today, because it kind of results back to the me, they're looking for an individual to complement them. But marriage ain't about, to be honest, marriage, in my opinion, is about you found someone that you love and you come giving. What we find today is people come together looking to receive. Everybody came to the table to receive, nobody cooked. And then we mad because we hungry now. We mad at each other. So I think if we don't spend time rebuilding the institution of marriage, if we don't spend time promoting marriage itself again, because see, right now, marriage isn't promoted, sex is promoted. So the sex belongs to marriage. But now sex is promoted as vermin running around in the street on his own with no parents. But sex belongs to marriage. If we don't reinstitute the institution of marriage into our culture with rational understanding and reverence, then our expectations of marriage are all going to be totally individualized, totally unrealistic, and superficial.
Real fast.
Yes, sir.
When I was listening to you, and I'm going to kind of turn this around. There's a difference between looking for a playmate and a soulmate.
Yeah, come on.
I know that's right.
Yeah, too often we're looking for a playmate.
Yes, sir.
As opposed to a soulmate. And
Yes,
again,
sir.
when you talked about the institution of marriage, this is a sticking point for me. When you start looking at generational wealth, it can only be acquired if two people are really working at it together.
That's right.
Otherwise, you pretty much on getting by mode, And we as a people we have money, but we haven't established wealth.
Correct.
There's a difference.
Correct.
Yeah, and there's a clear difference.
Absolutely.
Hey, look, we got other guests, and man, I can sit here and talk to Mr. Moore all day, but I just want to say this: the individual first has to get a relationship with themselves. That's my opinion. Get an understanding, like you said. If I don't know what makes me tick, then I'm not going to be able to get better. I'm not going to be able to make any progress as a person. I had to know where my assets and my liabilities are. So I had to examine the man in the mirror. And for that relationship piece to even take, I can't bring a broken person into and think I'm going to get a healthy relationship. I got to work on me. and I don't mean be perfect, but I got to work on myself that I can come with some realistic expectations and have some acceptance of the person that I'm dealing with. And that's any relationship that I feel. Social or intimate, because that's just my opinion. Like you said, Mr. Moore, that's just my opinion. And it seems, from experience, it seems like that's the more realistic look at it for me. So.
Hey, Mr. Moore, are you like on Facebook or? I mean, we need this, man. I don't know if you have a plug. I just wanted you to give it to the people. I may call you on my own for some. Well, people.
Terrence know how to get in touch with me. I have
people got questions, man. They need this education.
I am on Facebook, but basically, I'm not on it like that.
Yeah.
On it. I have a page, and their family and folks that kind of communicate with. But that is very, very limited. But I've always been someone who wanted to work with people. I get my biggest joy out of assisting someone. That's the way I make sense of my life. All the mistakes I've made, allowing somebody else to benefit from it makes it all worthwhile for me. So that's the way I live.